They told me for years there was no money in podcasting. Well, they were all wrong.
I was born at the Maine Medical Center in Portland, and I've never lived more than 15 miles from that hospital.
Wow. Okay.
And my ancestors came to Maine back in the mid-1700s.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. Your grandfather, you're a descendant of the founder of the village of Somesville,
That's
first
right.
permanent settlement on Mount Desert Island in Maine. So let me ask you, did your last name come from the town or the town come from the last name?
Town came from the last name.
Town came from the last name. And where is your family originally from?
They came here from Gloucester, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then previous to that, from England.
So how did that happen? Like, do you have the story of your direct descendant who found the village? Like, tell me that story.
He was a sea captain based in Gloucester and came to Maine to get lumber from the Maine forest, trees, whatever, and went back and forth. And I don't know if you're familiar with Mount Desert Island, but there's a fjord that cuts it right down the middle. It's the only fjord on the entire eastern seaboard. And when there were storms, they would go with their ship and get out of the storm's way by hiding in the fjord. But there were Native Americans that didn't really care to have them come in and, and shelter during the storm because that was their territory. So they learned to bring a couple of barrels of rum with them whenever they pulled in, and they traded the rum for safe passage, and eventually became quite friends with them. And several people tried to settle the island, but they were driven away. But my ancestor had good relations, got a grant. At that time, Maine was part of Massachusetts.
Yep.
And got a grant from the governor of Massachusetts that if he could actually settle there, he could start a permanent settlement and claim the property. So he convinced his sailors to come up here to Maine and start this little village and settle there, and start like a lumber yard. And instead of shipping the lumber out, they would mill it there and then send it off on cargo ships. So they settled there and named the town after himself, Somesville, and the fjord is called Somes Sound.
Wow, that's really cool. So how did you find that out? Like, did you have to go through public record? Like, how do you?
Oh gosh, no.
Or stories passed down from ancestors?
My family lived there right up until my father.
Wow.
On the island.
Okay. Wow.
And so, as a kid, I would go up there summers and, to the Somme, this is your town. This is Somesville, which was very cool.
I bet you got free drinks for life over there.
I think you're right.